Hey everybody, Rich Lang with Prep U down here in the bunker. You gotta like the weather. Everybody knows it's summertime, and how do we know it's summertime? Kids are getting out of school. Matter of fact, a lot of you know that after my years in the fire service, I went on and I'm now a paraeducator with one of our local schools. Today was our last day. It was actually a half day for us. Some of the teachers had to go a little bit further. Sucks to be them, but that's besides the point. And the reason we went back is that during the school year, we missed some very important training that a lot of schools are participating in, and that's A.L.I.C.E training. And for those of you that don't know what A.L.I.C.E training is, it's basically active shooter training. It's done at schools, it's done with places of worship, businesses can partake in this, mall employees, people that work in public spaces like parks and stuff like that, and of course government businesses. But what A.L.I.C.E stands for is alert, lockdown, inform, counter, and evacuate. And we had a morning session where we had some of our administrators went through the train the trainer course. We also had law enforcement there. And we went through different scenarios. The traditional lockdown where you just lock the door, close the curtain, and just hide in a corner. Where you're all nicely huddled up in case, so when the shooter gets in, you're all sitting ducks. And then we went on to other training, how to block the door, how to counter, and when to evacuate. The reason I'm bringing this up is, this YouTube site is about prepping. I have kind of have some homework for you. For those of you that have never heard about A.L.I.C.E, have never participated, never heard your children. Obviously, the kids don't have the type of training that we had today, where it's we had teachers that were active shooters, shooting some really nice Nerf guns, and they did statistics on who got shot, where'd you get shot, how many made it out of the room, how many didn't, and stuff like that, just for statistical purposes. It was very interesting, very eye-opening. I was very impressed with the training. I was very impressed with my fellow teachers. There's a small core of us that we actively prepare and we actively shoot together. And I knew that they would do fine because we had talked about this kind of stuff before, but I was really impressed with the teachers and the general population. And most of the talk was not about themselves, but about their students. So you parents out there should be really proud. Your administrators, though we do it for a paycheck, it really is all about the kids, to be honest with you. Speaking of statistics, some of the things that came up, they talked about what were the percentage, taking 100% of all active shooting incidents, how many were in schools. And you listen to the news and it seems like it's all schools, but actually only 24% of active shooting incidents happen in our schools. That's grade school, high school, colleges, and stuff like that. 48% actually happen in businesses. And the other rest of it are places of worship, malls, public spaces, and government buildings. And what do all these businesses have in common, or these schools, these places have in common? They're all gun-free zones. State I live in, most of these places have to remain gun-free zones. I have a concealed carry license, but I can't carry on public transportation. I cannot go into school with it. I cannot go in malls. I cannot go in government buildings. There's more places that I can't go into than I can. So basically this training was great for me to look at what do I do if I don't have my firearm with me. Although our state allows us to carry tasers, we can also carry knives and stuff like that. Another statistic that was very interesting is that in 98% of all shootings was a single shooter, which I was actually surprised at. I thought it'd be, obviously more than 50%. I thought it was around 66, 70%, but 98% of all shootings are single shooters. Then you can add another percentage when you have multiple shooters that stay together and act as one, back to back, side by side, going down the hallway, room to room, and never split. So the threat's always together, and that's when they talked about the evacuation. Is if you hear gunshots further away and you know what direction they're coming from, you can get out in an opposite direction because chances are 98% there's only one shooter. And it gives you a chance to evacuate the area. We also went over how to lash doors to chairs and desks, and how to prevent the shooter from getting in the room. Even the most simplest way of securing the door works great, because chances are the shooter's going to go to a different room or a different area unless he specifically has targeted that room for some reason. We also did passing periods, active shooter, which was very interesting. But I said earlier I had some homework for all of you, and I think it's really important for you to talk to your schools and find out, do your schools participate in A.L.I.C.E? Have your kids, your older kids, have they participated in any A.L.I.C.E training? Just awareness. We do tornado drills, and we do, fire drills and stuff like that. It's important that our kids do this. I heard one comment that kids as young as 10 were given some actually active shooter training. Although most of them are 12 and up, they get the active shooter training. But please, so that's your homework. Not only is it homework with purpose, but it's for peace of mind for you. And you can also get involved in A.L.I.C.E training by going online and just Googling A.L.I.C.E training. If you work in a mall or if you work in a government building, you can also ask your administrators or your HR department, hey, this A.L.I.C.E training, it's really important, what do you know about it? It's really good to get involved. So that's all. It was really eye-opening. It was great to see that there are more people prepared than I thought out there. Hopefully this video opens up some eyes, or at least gets you curious on some of the training that should be done out there for our kids and for ourselves also. So as always, I hope you liked the video. If you did, please like it. Subscribe. We got a lot of videos. We're getting more and more every day. We're going to shoot a couple more over the next week. And comment. We love comments. It's very important for us. So for now, that's about it from the bunker. Hopefully we're going to get outside. It's gorgeous outside today. But as always, be aware of your surroundings, especially with this type of training. You need to know what's going on around you. And as always, be prepared to count on yourself for up to 72 hours. And please prep like your life depends on it, because you all know it really does. Thank you.